You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marci. This installment is being recorded just a little bit before Thanksgiving, which is why we're so confused about the plethora of Christmas decorations all over my neighborhood. Also, it's taken Marci several decades, but she has finally learned how to operate simple plumbing. And the most memorable meal I never tasted. I just cannot believe how many people in my neighborhood have Christmas decorations up. I'm losing all faith in humanity.
They've already got all the towns out here have them up. The cities.
The cities, I understand. They've got a mercantile motive. That's fine. But why would a perfectly sane human being before Thanksgiving decorate their house for Christmas and buy the trees? They're selling trees.
But I think it just gives people, it makes them feel happy.
That has been especially ruined for me by, I have a friend who's no longer living, older than I was. Her husband also passed away. Both wonderful people. And he, when he died, was something like 40 years clean and sober in AA. But apparently he had been, he was a serious hardcore. He explained that he had a technique for driving when he was drunk. He would close one eye so that the lane line didn't move around and he only saw one of it.
Okay.
There was a more lenient attitude. More people died, but fewer people went to jail. And he used to say, he'd say, I can spot the alcoholics on any block. They're the people with the Christmas lights still up in August. That was his deductive reasoning. And so I kind of started checking it out, like Christmas lights up in August. Oh, yeah. By golly.
No, wait. Well, what do you consider to be a Christmas light?
Well, I already told you about...
As you know,
yes.
I have them all over out here.
Well,
they are what people use as Christmas lights. To me, they're, I don't know, fairy lights.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's so we're not pitch black out here.
Yeah. Well, you're not. It's not like red and green blinking Santa Claus.
No, it's all different colors.
Right. I know that I've mentioned this guy, the guy who sold the worst kept house on the block after his girlfriend died, who wore the Burberry trench coat with full-size bottles of Jim Beam in the pockets. His lights were up all year round. And a little Christmas tree in the upstairs window. He was one. Now, the people putting their lights up now, they will take them down probably sometime in February so they can stick their Valentine's lights all over the place. Yeah. Like if I had Christmas, I'm just saying, if I had Christmas and little kids, a week before Christmas, the tree would go up. Just enough time for people to really enjoy it and have it be special. And then I'd keep it up probably till January 2nd. And then it would go away because... how special is it if it's up for 3 months?
So very special. I don't know.
Like it's the quarter of the year.
We don't have one. My husband, who grew up as an altar boy, hates any kind of Christmas decorations whatsoever. And I remember that my kids were really excited when they were younger because their dad also was of a different faith. And I was very anti-Christmas tree at that point. We wound up putting up a little tiny, maybe 6-inch tall tree, which is the top of a shrub. And I hung earrings from it. And that was the ornaments.
I'm imagining the stockings now and the stocking stuffers. Now that people in the house across the street have already paid professional decorators to come and Christmasize their house and go away again.
I actually saw an ad this morning. An ad this morning that said, hire me to put up your Christmas decorations.
I think you lose points for having your house professionally done. You don't get to say that someone looks really young after they've had 6 plastic surgeries.
No.
It's cheating.
In the movies, it's always like a big family thing.
Yeah, I don't think they
dad's
have...
on the roof and all that kind of stuff.
Maybe the problem is the cost of health care now. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe somebody had one near miss and now they've reached a marital agreement.
I'm curious to know what portion of the population that puts up their Christmas ornaments now, especially the outside ones, have them plugged in versus solar.
Oh, I don't think anybody's running them on solar in this town.
All mine are.
Unless you do your whole house with solar, you couldn't.
No. Just the little thing on the out.
Nah.
They come with a little round thing that goes into the ground.
I don't think so. I don't think that's happening in this town. I think
No,
people want.
That's what mine are.
They want lights you can see, like you could land a plane by these lights. A lot of them.
That would drive me nuts. Oh, I would be like the angriest, most awake person on your block. I'd be walking up and down the street with a tuba at 3 a.m.
Just because their lights are so bright.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. What happened to make your spirit
if
bright?
There's light. I hate lights.
Well, do what I do and have 2 different sets of curtains on every window.
I will still know they're there.
Well, you wouldn't be living in the city anyway because it's too much ambient light.
too much ambient population.
That too. You know, when you redo or you do a project on your house, there's always one thing you regret.
Yeah.
I did one of those bathrooms where it's in 2 sections, so someone can be taking a bath or using the privy and close the door, and then on the other side is the linen closet and the sinks, so someone else can be brushing their teeth. So I remember that I was really annoyed with myself that I didn't put a wall socket in the part where the tub and toilet were, because that's where you need a nightlight, right? I just thought people will visit my house. They will bang into the clawfoot tub. They'll break their feet. And then I realized that in the city, it's never really dark. Never. You could practically read a book in there in the middle of the night. So bright.
See, I could not ever do that. I seem to remember when I was a kid, we had an upstairs bathroom, downstairs bathroom, and if you flushed the toilet while someone was taking a shower,
they would boiler freeze, yes.
Yes, yeah. So I was going to ask you if you had that issue.
No, the issue that we have actually is I love water pressure. It's such a thing. It's a thing you take for granted until somebody starts a load of laundry while you're in the shower.
Oh, there you go.
That's when you notice it.
Well, I just learned this weekend that I have improperly been using our shower. There's a little knobby thing that you have to pull up to make the water go from the spigot up to the shower up above.
Yes.
And I mean, ever since we moved in here, I practically need like a claw hammer to pull it up. It's so tough to get up. And then I smash it down with my foot. And for 4 years, I've been complaining about this thing, right?
Yes.
So yesterday, Frankie was out on the water run, getting our water. I sent him a text saying, I love you so much for getting the water, but I would really like to use the water to take a shower. So I need you to fix this before you do anything when you get home. Well, it turns out you were never supposed to pound it back down.
Well, I thought that when you turn off the water,
it automatically goes down. I never knew that. Eve never knew that. She and I had both been like grabbing bottles of shampoo and beating the crap out of this thing to make it go. So yes, I learned something new yesterday. I learned how to use my shower.
Good to know. Did you know you're supposed to let the stove cool down before
before you stick your head in it?
Right.
To dry your hair.
Just checking.
Yeah.
When you do your house, the questions that people ask you, like if you're working with a contractor or a plumber or something, I always think I know exactly what I want. And then they ask me a question about something I never considered wanting before. And then the whole project grinds to a halt while I have to think for a day or two about whether I want whatever it is that's been offered to me.
Oh, that's my poor husband's whole world. And see, I'm more of a whatever kind of person. Whatever.
Yeah, but that only works if it's your husband. That doesn't work if you're paying somebody. The next thing you know, you've got the Eiffel Tower in your backyard. No.
That's true, too.
No. You have to be specific. You must be specific.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, here's a true confession. I hope that nobody
I'll get really close
who listens to this podcast I hope none of my friends listen to this podcast. I have been sick for a few days. I think it was a mild case of COVID for which I never tested positive. And so, according to all the scientific literature, after you've been sick with this for several days and you then wear masks for a few days, you can just assume that you're no longer contagious.
Right. That's what they say now.
Which is fine, except that what went out of whack and wasn't back yet was my sense of taste.
And it's candy. It's the season of candy.
Right. But this almost never happens. We had not one but two invitations to eat with people who are amazing cooks.
Oh, no.
Can
you taste yet?
No.
Did it come back?
Not really, no. I had to pretend that I could taste a gourmet lunch and a gourmet dinner. I had to go, this is delicious. And actually, some flavors are painful to swallow. A glass of wine makes me feel like I'd be better off licking the dog. And anything sweet tastes like rusted metal. I can handle
salt. Have you tried gargling with bleach? Just saying. Just throwing it out there.
No, I think you're supposed to inject that directly. I believe that's what I'm supposed to do. The two best meals of the month I totally missed, and they tasted like metal. And now I have to write thank you notes to everybody saying thank you so much for that delicious dinner. And I was actually slightly relieved that we were offered some leftovers because I'm hoping I get to taste them in a week or two. I'll freeze them.
You could just chew on aluminum foil.
It would have had the same. It would have been just as palatable. It was so sad. I mean, and the spousal unit's going, well, you're not going to admit that you don't tell anybody that everything tastes like rusted metal. I'm like, what do you take me for? I'm going to be there and enjoy it, and I'm going to eat small portions, and I'm going to ooh and ah, and nobody will know that it all tastes like rusted metal to me.
That's my worst nightmare.
There are things that are worse, but not many.
Taste.
Yeah, there are things that are worse,
especially
but not
now.
many. Yeah,
I'm the hugest Thanksgiving. I could eat Thanksgiving dinner every single day of my life and be the happiest person in the world. I love Thanksgiving.
Well,
and everybody in my family knows it. And after next week, we will probably again resume our Thanksgiving every month dinner. I make a turkey, and we have sweet potatoes, and we have mashed potatoes, and we have the stuffing.
That's a good reason, I think, for someone to be married to you, is you get Thanksgiving every month.
We do.
Yeah. Well, if we don't talk until after Thanksgiving, have a lovely one.
You too.
And if you're listening to this podcast before Thanksgiving, you too. If you've made it this far, chances are you've been enjoying Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast, in which case you might also like my book, She Said What, A Life on the Air. You can find that at your neighborhood independent bookstore or on Amazon. Marci and I really appreciate your good reviews wherever you care to leave them. Your kind words help the podcast grow. Thanks.